This fake pregnancy situation is one of the most insane things that I've ever seen. With Kira Cousins not only faking a pregnancy, but also the passing of her imaginary daughter for attention, fooling everyone around her and in the process collecting thousands in gifts for the baby, all throughout this living through an entire lie. And genuinely, I can't believe how low people get for attention. So hello everyone, welcome back. I am Jake Baz, and today we're going to be diving into the pits of despair with something that I find genuinely baffling. Kira Cousins is a social media person who, for some reason since this situation, has deleted absolutely everything that you can find about her. And why, you might ask? Well, it's pretty obvious. Faking the life, the unfortunate disorders that the child got, and then the passing of that fake child for sympathy. Something which, since this has come out, has allegedly gotten worse, with people saying that they've done it before. There's so much insane stuff here, so if you enjoy the vid at any point, please do hit the like button and subscribe if you not. It helps me out a lot, and I'd love to see you back for more social media weirdos. So first off, to set the stage, I think we need to look at how this all came about, and really it comes with a lot of, at first, looking like innocence. With Kira Cousins posting a lot about this potential child that she was going to be having. Little did people know what it actually turned out to be. This includes hundreds of stories on Facebook, Snapchat, all of that, such as this one here saying, "A way to greet, look what I found," with a child's outfit and a pregnancy test which is positive. And you really have to ask, with that child now not being real, where did she get that positive test from? This was then also followed up with things like this, with her saying on her Facebook, "Our own little miracle, we all can't wait to meet you," with all of these little items around it. And I think with purely the amount of these, she was trying to get attention for her new child that wasn't coming because it's not real. But the actual lengths and depths of what she got to actually try and prove that she is having this child before it got exposed by all of her family members and friends is quite crazy. Like even here, as you can see, she's posted boy or girl with a gender reveal thing coming up, and then with a load of ultrasounds which prove that she's got a kid and that's what the kid looks like. Something that is totally normal for someone to do. Obviously, when they're having a child, they're going to be excited, they're going to want to show the world about it, no issues there. But this is where, when you know the context of that it is fake, it starts to get really odd. Because you saw in the previous thing that, well, is it a boy or a girl? And that actually preludes to a genuine gender reveal party that they did for the child. Which after this video, she got a load of gifts given to her, because obviously it's going to be for an actual child, right?
You can't hear!
Come on!
Like, for me, the worst thing about this is that you know that this is all fake. It was all done for attention, and that is the thing that gets me a little bit irked. She knows she's not pregnant. The entire room thinks that she is, and then they've hosted an entire event which probably cost lots of money for this fake child, which in retrospect is harrowing. But then also the other really weird thing about this, because as I said, it's a rabbit hole, it gets weirder and weirder, is that she's clearly evidently trying to look pregnant here, as she has a massive baby bump. This starts to bring the questions when you know what happens afterwards as to why has she even got to this. There must be seriously something wrong in her head for her to go down this path. But don't worry, it gets much and much weirder, because first off, from this, she not only gets a load of attention from her family, but she also gets a load of presents. Ones that, especially to her friends as well, she's more than happy to show off and even flex at points. Like we have this photo here, which is sent to her friend from Snapchat, where she is showing off to her friend all of the different items that she has got for her child, such as loads of little dresses, things like that. Seemingly innocent, but like, what's the point? And why are you showing this other than you want the sympathy from your friends or the attention from your friends from having a child and the struggles that come with that? Even going to the point of showing things like this, such as my girlie's Xmas wardrobe, which is obviously a Christmas outfit for the child. She clearly loves to show off what she's getting for her child, especially in the form of little gifts which she has got from family members and things like that, as well as herself. All in my thoughts from an attempt and a ploy to get attention from her people that are around her. But the gifts aren't just given to things like this, little outfits, that sort of stuff. It gets much bigger, such as here. Whereas you could see she's showing off a pram that she's been given by her family members, which is around £500. Obviously, it's a special one-off gift for the child who is having their first ever kid. It's a big occasion, so you want to give something like that, but it's fake. It's all fake. And she must be wondering in her own head at this point that she's got so far to this sort of era. Why wouldn't she really think about what's actually going to happen? And obviously, it gets much darker with the passing of the fake child. But it falls to desperation. She was going even to lengths of things like this to prove that she is pregnant, showing a video of her baby kicking in her stomach, or supposedly kicking in her stomach, which is just another level of insane, isn't it? Not only she faked being pregnant at her actual event, she is now going out and she's doing this sort of stuff on the side, on her Snapchats, things like that, just to further prove that, well, she's having a kid, she's so excited, and everyone should look at her. And this wasn't something that was only posted on her public stuff, her public stories. It's also stuff that was sent in private to her, such as another Snapchat sent to someone called Neve, who we'll get into later, as she did a massive expose on her. But you can clearly see that she's got the bump, or she's looking like she's got the bump, and she's flexing, taking photos of it, things like that, just showing it off. What has to be going on into your head so that you're doing this on a consistent daily basis across the entire day? I don't know, and I don't know where it's all coming from, but it's insane, isn't it? As you can see as well, it's like a progressive photo, so it's like me 1 month in, me 3 months in. It's just mental. And this continued up until the actual fake pregnancy ended up blowing up because, well, she had the kid, didn't she? And it was almost immediately at this point that people started to have doubts and questions around the child, because she was doing things around it which just made it seem impossible for it to actually be one. Here she is posted here, the most beautiful girl, but she's had enough for the photo shoots, obviously, because we're going to take so many photos of her. How did mummy and daddy get so lucky? And well, I don't know. Maybe £200 on an AliExpress premium doll, that might be how you got there. And something that I also noticed in a lot of the photos with the child is that the mittens on the hand are always there. And well, obviously, at the time, with someone just having a child, it looks innocent and that's about it. But when you look back, it's like, well, obviously the hands are going to be part of something which look a little bit fake, so let's just hide them. Also, they won't move, will they? Shows how calculated she was with this plan until it all started to get sour. Photo shoots as well, as you can see with Instagram. She was posting photos on Instagram of the child, which looks a lot faker here, I'm not gonna lie. But at first from her, obviously, it's just peaceful. She's just happy to have her child before everything goes wrong. And with photos like this surfacing of the child as well, it looks like plausible deniability, because obviously you can't say that this isn't a real child. It really looks real, but that's how scary things get. But then she even goes to the point of doing AI versions of the child. Oh my god, it's so weird. Where, as you can see, it's kicking its legs, the doll. And the way that it's doing that is because she's ran it through an AI generation thing, and then it's come out with the baby kicking it and flailing its arms and legs. And you can see, if you look at it for quite a while, it doesn't look very real, but it is believable enough. Oh, look, it's just a cute video of the child. Well, no. And I imagine that she started doing this as well because everyone had only seen photos. She wants to make it believable. And as well with her, all of this stuff keeps going on and getting more convoluted because she keeps bringing in her family members as well to show how appreciative she is, such as with things like this. Linking in great gran and granddad, all warm and wrapped up, equally as cute. Thanks to great gran and granddad for my chair. I'm even opening my eyes and starting to be nosy in it. I wonder how they felt when they'd spent like £200 on a chair as a gift for this child and it turned out to be a doll. It must have been really awful. As you can see again, she's got her mittens on, so she's hiding the actual hands of the child, obviously, and it really started to go south from here. Because what I imagine Kira Cousins thought is that she's had this pregnancy, this fake phantom pregnancy for months, and now she's got this child. It's going to be almost impossible to keep up with all of this that's going on, because obviously you can have a child, a newborn, a fresh newborn that is very quiet and still, but when you start to bring it around your parents and they're asking questions, that's when it gets weird. And then how do you keep this up for weeks upon months? And to be honest, I don't think she thought of the reality of the situation, which then led her to try and get out to a get out clause. Because at first the baby's born, it's beautiful, everyone's happy, and it looks like a daydream. The start of a happy family, but then she goes and posts this. On the second paragraph saying, thanks to all the medical team, these last few tests have picked picked up something that breaks our hearts. Grieving that the healthy baby we thought we would have, but knowing she will still be in our arms. They let us know that the baby has congenital heart defects. This means that she is born with it at birth and it will be present, sadly, in her adult life. Then going on to explain what the actual defect is, and the craziest thing about this bit here as well for me is that she goes to give a full condition and layout of what this actual problem is. Literally like she's pulled it straight off Google, right? Because why would she be explaining that specifically across the course of the post? In my opinion, I think she was doing this to set the scene of, well, this is going to happen, and then when the kid passes, that's when it gets into trouble. Going on the bottom paragraph to say, now while this is terrifying for both of us as parents, we can't begin to understand what lies ahead for us both and our two families. The pain our girl will have to go through and question what type of life she may have. We need to hope and pray when she arrives again, we will find out more answers and pray. While it is highly likely this is the only issue, there may be more. Setting the scene once again of, well, when the baby actually comes, it's going to be in some trouble, and despite all of these previous posts you've seen of it being absolutely fine and everything's good, there might be something in the background that might cause something to go wrong. They're going to even show on a heart diagram showing the exact problem, as well as explaining further all of the different problems and aspects of what's going to be sorted with this. Finishing it off with, in the meantime, thank you so much for checking in. Please respect privacy on both sides of the family. Both families' main priorities is our daughter and her having supported and loved throughout the difficult time of her life. Which is just crazy, innit? When you know everything that's going on, this is just snowballing and getting weirder by the second. The fact that she's going to lengths here to even talk about the specific issues and things like that, and even showing diagrams, which, why would you do that? All this is to me is setting the scene of something going wrong, and obviously, as I said at the start of the video, that happens. Because just a few days after this post and after the baby is born, unfortunately, it ends up passing, even though it is a doll. And from there has been a lot of questions and things like that, which then lead everyone to come to a conclusion of that the child was actually fake. The family's been duped, the friends been duped, and obviously with all the amount of money spent, all of the trauma and all of the talks that they've had with Kira so that she could be in a good mental position, turns out to all be for nothing and actually just for her to big up her own ego. That leads a lot of people being stung, and that's where we get to the current situation here, where someone called Neve Robert, who was a former friend, posted a massive long story about how this has all come about, and some of the stuff in here is shocking, and it shows once again how this has been really tightly convoluted from her, and she's genuinely insane. So I'll of course show you a couple of bits from this because it's just crazy. Initially saying that the day she told me she was pregnant, she was so happy, feeling like it was going to be an auntie again, sending me baby scans. As I said, a lot of this stuff will have been emotional manipulation from Kira so that she can get gratification from it, which is really sickening. Even saying at the gender reveal she received a lot of presents for her baby doll. Anyway, no one thought for a second that she wasn't pregnant or lying to everyone. Everyone believed Kira. Because obviously, if you think about it outside of the box of what we already know, it is so obviously not going to be a fake child, because the extent of what she got to as well is crazy. Kira was texting me throughout all the pregnancy, telling me never to get pregnant, she's constantly sick, she feels lonely, all the rest. I'm sick, I'm going through it, I need help, I need attention, I need everything that I can, just so you can help me. It must have been hard spending 9 months pushing out a fake baby. In another emotional manipulation tactic, she goes on to explain how she missed the actual birth of the child. She also sent me a video of her walking out the hospital with a baby in a car seat after calling at 1:30, by the way. I felt terrible as I thought she went through labour on her own, so I sent her a video crying with excitement. As the father wasn't going to any of the scans or stuff because, well, it wasn't real, it turned out that, well, yeah, it's so hard, this is going to be such a problem for her, and she might have been by herself, so obviously it's intentional from Neve here to her to feel bad for the situation. Kira's obviously wanted her to feel bad for not being there so that she can get attention even more, which just, why would you even go to this length? And then showing when the first first cracks start to show. 2 days after the baby was born, she texts me saying Jamie's mum had said to her, it's a doll, she's not moving or anything and she'll be freezing. Again, never let the granny hold the baby or touch. So she grabbed the baby and went to a hospital to get her checked over, and she said the hospital just told her to keep her wrapped up as she had mucus. Don't go near it because it's not real, please don't. And yeah, it looks so cold. Yeah, I wonder why it does. I wonder why it's not moving. I wonder what the problem is. Oh, it's because it's a fake doll. And it only took 2 days for people to start realizing this. That same day, she also told her it's normal for a newborn baby to not open their eyes at all. Yeah, I'm sure that's perfectly fine. I'm sure that's normal. Just ignore it. Obviously, she's not in a position to understand it because she's not had a kid herself. And this person, as you could tell with all of the posts of the medical things, she'll be trying to gaslight her into one way. But then obviously, with this entire situation, it gets even weirder and more convoluted. As Kira then goes to her work with Neve, asked me to take her to Morrison's where she had worked so she could show everyone the baby. So we went and all of her work colleagues were giving her money for good luck. She asked her manager, can I come back to work? And as a joke, and the manager says, Kira, just enjoy the time off and get bonding time with Bonnie Lee. So now, not only do all the family members be duped, but now all of the old workmates and the people around her are giving her money as well, which is just baffling, isn't it? She's gone to the extent of faking all this stuff, and then she's going around and showing all of the people in her office that, wow, look, I've got this child, as some sort of collateral damage for when things go wrong. It also shows how much she thinks she really has won and out-faked everyone here with the way that she was doing it, because she's going in very confidently, telling everyone she's got this, everyone's giving a look at it, and obviously it looks real because this doll is very expensive. She's just planned it out for weeks and it's mental. Kira then went to Neve's house where my mum moved the blanket just to see her legs as everyone does, and Kira moved so quickly and put the cover back over her. She made a bottle up, but she said she's not crying or even up, so I won't bother her now, which, like, absolutely insane. As I said, the kid had the mittens on all the time, had the things on the legs, and it's clearly because once you see that type of skin, it's not going to look as well like real skin, like something on the face would. She's then also, by the way, as I haven't even mentioned yet, not only done everyone else, but also the father, because the guy thought he was having a kid, and it turns out, obviously, it's fake. She was on the phone to Jamie, the supposed father at the time, and he was asking for a DNA test to be done, but the baby had mucus, so it couldn't be done. Which, wow. You now get to the point of depriving a father of their child because it's not a real child. Like, how sick do you have to be in the head? She refused to let anyone else touch the baby, not even Neve, when she was in the house, but we thought she was just being an overprotective mum, because obviously you're going to think some form of that. With a new baby, it's fine to go hold it, go look after it, go see it. So obviously with her saying that she doesn't want anyone to touch it, it just comes across odd, but then you can sort of give it off as like maternal instincts, things like that. But it's obviously all fake. Everyone was starting to get a little bit confused. Why couldn't the father see the actual child? Why is everyone not allowed to touch it? And it just got to a point where she really couldn't give up with it. So she had to really turn it back round. And how she manages to do that is by faking the passing of the child. The next day, my sister had noticed all her photos of Facebook had been deleted, and I went on to Snap to notice she had deleted every picture and video of Bonnie Lee from our chats. Perfectly normal thing to do, right? It's obviously something that you would easily do in that situation. Just get rid of all of the photos. Could it potentially be that someone was looking into it and being like, this doesn't really look like a kid, it looks more like a doll? Maybe that might be the accusation. I think at this point she just sold it instantly and just proved everyone right that this is a fake child. Neve then texted her asking why she'd done it, and she got ignored from that. And then she added the supposed father on Snap to understand what was happening, and he asked him, is that a doll? And he said yes. So it really just imploded from there. I really do wonder what sort of headspace you have to be in to do this, and then to keep it going for so long. As I know, I feel totally used, drained, and mentally she's effed. I feel I can't trust anyone or believe anyone. Everyone got conned by her, and I feel worse because I'm one of the few people to meet this baby. As I said, the emotional damage that she has given to everyone because she wanted her own selfish actions of looking after and pretending that she's got this child to come true, and she wanted the attention from people and sympathy. That's the only reason she's done all of this. It's just for attention. Blasting it on social media, all's just for it to come crumbling down. And like I said, at this point from Neve, she just thought that was it. But as we've seen from other messages that have surfaced from it, it turns out that in a last-ditch attempt when she realised that, oh, the dad's coming for her, people are really wanting to get to know this child and it's going to be too much and I'm going to be caught out, she tried to fake the passing of the child as a last-ditch attempt to maybe look like she's had a bad problem happen. Entirely trying to save face, but obviously it got found out. One of these people asked Kira, where are you? And she said, sorry, we had to come to Wishaw. Jamie took the child, into his mum's and she wasn't moving and was cold. That's relating to the situation where she ended up going to the hospital and got a problem with her mucus, which obviously not true. Don't think I've ever heard of a doll getting too much mucus and having to be moved. But then from this is obviously with the congenital heart condition that this doll supposedly has led her to do this. Something has happened to Bonnie Lee, but I need someone here with me to explain things so you can understand. They're saying what, and then the response, Bonnie Lee passed away, but you need to give me time to tell you everything, and I will, I promise. This is to the father, and obviously he's going to be furious and confused from this. Like, why can't I see my child? And now not only that, my child has passed away, but as we found out, it's because it's a doll. Saying, please, I want answers, but please, Jamie, with Jamie then saying, you've left me in the dark for long enough, I'm coming up, with her responding, you ain't getting in, so charge on, like you won't get in. No way you're going to be coming near me or my child, so don't even try and come near, even though that is supposedly the father. All of it is just a desperate attempt to save face from being called out from her actions and facing the consequences of it. So she's received gifts from them, she's then gone and done a gender reveal where she got even more gifts, she then got more gifts in the forms of little presents and loads of little outfits. She faked the stages of her pregnancy, she then had a child. Turned out the child had a congenital heart defect, which then led to a load of problems and issues with the child. She's even got into work, she's shown family members, and none of them could touch it, mind you. And then when it turns out that, well, I need answers here, I need to find out the DNA, I need to see if it's my child, she then fakes the passing of the child. It's just a baffling story, isn't it? I think as well this entire thing is a massive mockery of all of the problems of what people face, just so that she can get more attention to herself for the problems of her fake child. Clearly there is something massively wrong with her sympathy and thought process around it, such as here where she's posting things about the British Heart Foundation, which if you didn't know is a charity that helps out with stuff like this, and it's, as you can see, it's a World Hearts Day thing that she shared with a pink love heart to show her support for it, which in retrospect would be a very good thing if the only reason that she wasn't posting it was because her fake doll child turns out to have one of these rare illnesses and she's trying to gain support for it. Genuinely faking serious issues for a fake child for attention. It really baffles the mind, doesn't it? And then this actually brought up yet another thing where someone has supposedly and allegedly shown that this is not the first time that she has done this, and in fact this is a consistent theme with her that has happened multiple times before. Which, like, what do you mean? How has she already done this and got away with it? Person in this group posted that they can't believe this happened again. Kira did something similar to me and friends 2.5 years ago, had a baby bump pictures and asked family to be godparents in a video. We realised it was fake and we never met Aura Ray Jean, born 21st of the 9th 23. Never thought she would do it again. Unbelievable. How is this something that's happened before from her? I don't get it at all. It baffles the mind. Surely if you do this once, shame on you, but then you do it again a couple of years later because you want this attention again, it shows there is a serious problem there that needs to be addressed. Giving the proof here with talking about the child from the 6th of December, her face this morning is giving mummy, you ain't going to work again. It's just mental to me that she's done this in the past and it's something that has happened once again from her. As I said, this is all for sympathy and attention, and also for a mutual thing where she can get more empathy from people, and that is perfectly shown here in this bit, where it turns out the problem, the heart problem, is actually from from someone that she know's son instead, with the alleged person in question messaging Neve and saying this thing with the attached, claiming your child had a heart condition but it was actually a guy in her work's son that has it, and she's heard she has one and ran away with it, and I was texting the guy's wife about it. It's just crazy, innit? I just can't believe that she'd do this. Once again, it's for attention and it's crazy, and she's only said that it's had this condition once, so when it passes away she can claim it that it's not happened, nothing's happened, that sort of thing. It's something that's natural, but also to get attention and sympathy from the other person that is around her that also has a son that suffers with that condition. And believe it or not, allegedly, once again, as we don't know specifically if this is her, but there has been a response posted about her being confronted by her family. This was posted on a supposedly anonymous account where she gave a statement, so this is why I'm not sure if this is true or real or not yet, but it's something that is worth mentioning. Talking about how it actually came about, in my own words, let's settle this straight for the aunt and cousin that will be giving a bell tinker thinking they know, saying that the mum ended up storming in and found a doll, and prior to this, it's true, I'd been keeping to myself away. Literally everyone went into my own bubbles, didn't want anyone around me at all. Maybe because you faked having a child with heart problems and then also a child passing away, that might be a little bit of a turner for you. Mainly with her saying at the end, my family then sat me down and asked me what had happened early in my pregnancy, which I will come out and address when I'm also ready to. Don't think for 1 minute either that they'll let me get away with half of this. They haven't. So if that is true and this is real, it is to be believed that she is going to come out and make a statement in the future around the situation. This also gives her 100% guilt for the entire situation, so she's blaming it and that this is something that I have done, but also there is a reason for it. But if you've done it again, this is the second time you've done it, that makes a bit of a change. It could be the case where she's had this maybe a pregnancy that has then turned sour and she's ended up being in a bit of trouble with like an abortion or something like that, which could lead to her wanting to keep it going through her maternal instincts. But I think that I'm over explaining it, and I think the best thing that's happened here is that she just really wanted attention from people, honestly. Also saying that none of her family knew, nor did Jamie and his family, despite everyone having suspicions. Nothing came to light until Tuesday morning, which I definitely believe as well. I believe no one was involved in this at all. I think it was her own doing from her own selfish intentions, so that she could get just a load of attention. All of this is just crazy, mental, and I do not understand why people go to these lengths on the internet to try and get attention by any means. The weirdest thing for me is her pretending that it's got a certain heart defect and then promoting that as if she is suffering with that. It's just mental. But this thing is just blowing up everywhere, and it's clear to see why. It is just an insane case of someone who is screaming for attention and will do it by any means that she can. I'm definitely going to do a follow-up on this because, like, what is going on with this? If it gets any further, I just can't believe this is a real thing. So if you want that, please do hit the like button and subscribe if you're not. But for now, I've been Jake Baz. This has been mental, and I'll see you all later. Take care.